What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to do part 3 of homemade lifted go-kart. For those of you who haven't seen the original videos of this thing, part 1 was building the frame, part 2 was putting the motor on, putting the gearbox on, putting on the clutch, and other things, steering and all that kind of stuff. And then I took this thing out for a test drive and blew the gearbox in half. Now, why it blew in half was because I wanted this thing to be really fast. I did not want this thing to be going really slow like a riding mower. So I geared this thing to be going really fast, and that's what made the gearbox snap in half. Originally, I had this sprocket on the motor, this sprocket on the gearbox, and that went to a 30-tooth sprocket, which went to a 14-tooth sprocket to a really big tire. So yeah, that's way too much, or way not enough gear reduction. So that alone, you know, plus the 12.5 horsepower just blew this thing apart. So, and a lot of you were saying that that I should have bolted this thing down on the front. If you look closely, you can see that there is no place to bolt this thing on the front, so I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. So and also a lot of you were saying that the force of the motor pulling this pulley this way made this thing pop up. Actually, what happened was there was just it would take so much force to turn the tires that it was just trying so hard, plus the motor was like floored, and that it just made this thing, the gears in here strained so hard where it just popped up, and the gears like skip teeth and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, as you can see, the crack starts here, goes all the way over here, goes up over here, goes around here, and stops here. So what I'm thinking is the big sprocket right here and right here were just trying to turn so hard that they were just, they were lifting up on the frame, on the shell of the gearbox, and this thing just popped up and destroyed itself. So so yeah, when that happened, I was really thinking about just, giving up on this thing. But I didn't want to. I wanted to finish this thing because I was so close to finishing it. So yeah, I went to a small engine repair shop and I got a new gearbox. This thing was cheap. I wanted to find a cast iron or cast steel gearbox, if they even make those things. I did not want to try and get another aluminum one because this thing is so heavy. Why not add another 100 pounds to this thing? So but this is all they had. It hopefully works. I've tried it. It is really hard to change gears. Like, it takes all my strength just to change the gears. I can't even do it. So I'm gonna try and gear this thing really low so it doesn't do the exact same thing. So how I'm gonna gear it is, this thing is gonna be on the motor, and then it's gonna go to this thing, which is exactly the same setup as a riding mower. And then it's going to go to this 12-tooth sprocket, and then that is going to go to this 14-tooth sprocket to this big tire. So it's going to be almost, as slow as a riding mower. It's going to be a little slower than a riding mower. So if this thing moves under its own power, I will be happy just to get this thing finished, just to get it to work, just so I can say that it works, that it's not a complete failure. So how I originally bolted down the gearbox on this thing was, as you can see, the bottom, the bolts are flat. So therefore, what I did is I made these brackets and I just sat the gearbox down on these things, bolted it down. But yes, these are the exact same bolt pattern as this thing, but when I bought it, I did not see that there's a flange or whatever in the way, and as you can see, these are not the same height. So What I was originally thinking was just knock this out, grind away whatever that bump is, which I think it's like a... I have no idea what that is. So I can't do that. I can't bolt it down on the bottom like I normally did. So what I'm going to do was, because these brackets are removable, I made it so I just bolt them down. What I'm going to do is figure out how high it is, and then cut out little pieces of whatever length I need to, and then cut this right there, take those pieces of whatever length this is, weld them right there, and then just bolt this thing down on the bottom, just like that. And that will hopefully work just as well. So it's a lot better than redesigning the entire way of bolting down the gearbox. So yeah, simple. All I gotta do is cut it out and cut this off, weld it on, and you know, so simple enough. Okay, so we got the gearbox on. This fits perfectly right there. All I really had to do was take these brackets off, cut it, and add 2 inches, and then bolt it on the top of the gearbox mount, and put the sprockets on. They seem to be perfect. Not that much chain wobble. Seem to be just good. I'm not going to cut this because I may reuse this gearbox, but yeah, everything seems to fit perfectly. I'm really surprised at how well these pulleys line up. Look at that. They perfectly line up. Although I'm not going to use these pulleys. These are too big and they're way too close together. You know, they're way too big, and to really get a clutch that works good, I'm not going to be able to use these because they're way too close. So what I'm going to do is take that pulley off, put on the original pulley right here. I'm not going to make the same mistake and put this on the motor. I'm going to put this on the motor. I have one of these that has a 1-inch bore, and it's somewhere downstairs. I just need to find it. It's either in that bin, or in that bin, or in one of my 2 sheds I have outside, or somewhere in there, or somewhere in there. So all I gotta do is find it. I know I have it. I just gotta find it. So if it doesn't work like that, then I don't know what else. It should work, because you know, I want this thing to be a little fast. If I did the clutch right now, this thing would be a little slower than your riding mower. And I think we all know that riding mowers are incredibly slow. At least the older ones. So I want this thing to just be a little bit faster. I don't want this thing to be going 50 miles an hour, but I don't want to be going 10 in 5th gear. So definitely going to change out those pulleys. And I think that's what I was doing wrong with the old way I had the gearing. I had way too big of a sprocket right here, and that just put all the strain in the gearbox. You know, if I just have it 1-to-1, it won't put as much strain on the gearbox. So yeah, definitely going to make those pulleys a little bit smaller. It'll make it easier for me to put the clutch on. And I want to show you guys something. It's actually pretty cool. Yesterday when I finished this thing, I jumped on it, grabbed my drill, put this thing on the drill. I was actually driving around with the drill. So yeah, this thing is incredibly slow. So I think if I put this pulley on, should be perfect. Hopefully. Hopefully I won't blow the gearbox up again. Okay, so I'll be honest. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I made that last little clip that you just saw. The main reason it's been very long is because it's been really cold outside. You know, I don't want to drag this thing outside when it's like 20 or 30 degrees outside and start welding on this thing. That just sucks. Also, welds don't really turn out that well when it's cold outside. So Also, I've been really busy with work and school, so I've been working on this thing as much as possible, and I think I finally have it ready to test. It's not done or anything. I've still have a lot of tuning to do, a lot of finishing things I have to do to it, but right now it's ready to test. The brakes are done, the gas pedal, the clutch, everything is done. So I'm going to quickly explain everything I've done. I'm going to try not to take too long because I know my videos are really long and really boring. So I'm trying to, narrow them down, make them not so long. So yeah, first things first, got the battery on, got the electric start going. I know my wiring job looks like crap, but I don't really care because it works. So here's my control panel right here. Here's on, off, here's a starter button, and here's a horn that I installed. It's actually very loud. It's a horn that I got off a moped. So yeah, the gas pedal works just fine. It's hooked to that cable right there, and then the cable goes around and goes to the motor. I took off the governor on this thing. Yeah, everything I have does not have a governor. The main reason is it makes everything much better and much more responsive when you hit the throttle. When the governor's on, there's like a tiny bit delay when you hit the throttle. So I end up just taking the governors off anyway. So yeah, governors off on this thing. I got the brakes done. Simple enough. It works just fine. It actually doesn't work when you're going backwards, but the way to fix that is just not go backwards. So they work fine when you're going forwards. So they work great. So the clutch works. I still have a little bit of tuning to do with it. Right now, that's engaged. It's disengaged. I want to make it to where you push this thing a lot further. Right now that feels like you're not even hitting it at all. So I still need to make that go down a little bit. So how I'm going to do that is just make that right there. That I'm just going to make it a little bit longer, like 2 or 3 or 4 inches longer. And that's just going to make it to where it has to swing more, and the pedal will go down further. So still got to do that, but it's not a big deal. The clutch, I think it works. I really hope it works. I didn't test it, but I took the spark plug out and I hit the starter button, and it rolls, and when you hit the clutch, it stops. So I think it works. I really hope it works. So yeah, there's that. What else? I got the gear changer wired up. It works just fine. I still need to make it to where you can tell what gear it's in. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to make it spring-loaded this way, and I'm going to put a plate on here with notches, and each notch will be at 1 gear. So, when you want to change gears, you'll push it this way, change it into gear, and it'll, set down in that, groove on the plate. So, and beside the groove, I'll have numbers, reverse, neutral, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. How we've been doing it right now is just mentally know that that's reverse. And then that's neutral, that's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth. Is this 6 gears? I don't know if there's 5 or 6 gears on this thing, but I don't know. So still need to do that. It's not very important, but I still want to do it. So yeah, this thing is ready to test. I think tomorrow's not going to be that cold outside, and I'm going to try tomorrow and pull this thing out. I think I'm going to try and get Ryan over here, and we're going to test this thing out. So pray to God that the clutch does not break, or the gearbox does not break in half again, and hopefully everything works perfectly. So yeah, let's test this thing. Alright, Ryan is trying this thing. I swear, if you break it again...
I didn't break it the first time, douchebag.
Whatever. Alright. Try it. Hit the gas a little bit. Alright, is it in first?
Yeah.
Make sure.
Reverse.
Reverse, neutral, first. Let me... Alright. That's in first. Let me hit the choke. Okay, go ahead. Let's do it again. Go ahead. Try again. Remember, this motor hasn't run in a very, very long time.
How hard do
All
I
right.
push the clutch in?
Not hard. Try it.
Just like that?
Just like that. That's it all again.
Okay. Ready?
Go ahead. Damn it. Go ahead. What'd you do?
Nothing.
Holy crap, it is slow as hell.
Alright, you want to start it in 6th gear?
Try it. It's 5th gear, yeah. Why is it smoking so bad?
No, we're rolling cold.
Rolling coal, this thing's not a diesel.
Oh no.
Go ahead. What? Test the brakes. Test the brakes. Did the brakes work? Something I realized is I haven't filled that thing with oil. So there's no oil in the motor. So don't start the motor again.
Really?
Yeah. Holy crap. It's slow as shit in 1st gear. But it's decently fast in 5th.
God damn, you scared the shit out of me.
What?
I thought you were beside me.
Alright, go.
That one.
Test the brakes. They kind of work.
Careful when you go back.
Yeah. Test them again. Make sure you don't fucking crash. They kind of work. They slow you down at least. Oh man. That thing looks goofy as hell. Sliding on the ice.
We got stuck by ice.
So, crap, this thing works. What do you think of it, Ryan? It's awesome. I hope it just lasts and doesn't explode like the last one. So, yeah.